Likely, yes. How long did you say you were planning to stay for?
Here?
Oh,
I hope we will leave today.
whenever we reach back, of course, at our homestead.
Says, oh, well, for as long as Helen needs me. So looks at Helen. Oh, gives him a smile. I don't have too pressing matters at home, and it'll be interesting to stay at some place that's not, well, Dustinbury, Starpike, or White Grove. Seen plenty of those places.
Or at least you have 3 of them. We get to see the same stone walls each day.
Well, I presume that's why you're here.
Oh my god, you guys, you are so stuck up. We only have one cat, we usually 3. For God's sake, you have a home. Many people don't have a home, you stuck-ups.
I didn't say
My just
Jesus.
cracking her knuckles
These
like,
damn nobles.
yeah,
My character's
fuck
trait
those
is not
nobles, I
humble.
lived on this street.
Yeah, we're not
my
humble.
character's trait is not humble.
No.
He was just cracking her knuckles. Like, oh my god. Shut up. If we'd been home, Nima would have turned around and said, could you shut your ass?
Shut your ass is pretty good.
Then back to the Stargate she goes.
Yeah, your ass is flapping. I hear sounds. Shut it.
Shut it.
Oh, beautiful.
Said, perhaps, brother, if I may have a few minutes.
Very well. If you'll excuse us, try not to drink all the ale.
I'm sort of move slightly. Manfred sitting here, sort of also listening, not really saying anything.
Okay.
So Helene will sort of take Lanny over to a side, a corner.
Nima starts to follow Lanus and looks at him.
So, who might you be?
Young Lord's bodyguard.
Nima's is clearly not allowed to walk within hearing distance.
Well, Lanus didn't say. Nima has her orders. Lanus didn't specify.
You know.
You'll see her sort of trying to walk past the 3 people who move to make that sort of difficult.
I'll gesture to Nima that basically wait there, but basically trying to keep her in line of sight though.
Nima says in Bravoshi, he never learns.
Helen takes him off.
Well, he hasn't been killed yet.
Corner looks
I still have destiny.
What did you say that Linus took off?
I'm trying to protect his little ass, but he keeps walking away.
You don't tell me about it.
Maybe
Oh
it's
my
because you told
God.
him to shut his ass.
Shut your ass, young lord.
I'm still getting the stockade.
I've been
Fine,
trying
let's
to
drink
protect it
wine. 3
protect it from
little roses.
for fucking month.
Sure.
Time to teach them to dance.
They would never learn.
Seem to be nice enough people.
They'd never learn. Look at all that armor.
He'll say, our cousin seems hesitant.
As I expect most will be. A long-standing feud is not something many can forget easily.
Thought you would have spoken with him.
I have spoken to him somewhat, but there are limits to how quickly people are willing to change their mind.
It's
They will
a
come in
shame.
time, but of course, time is something we have, at least.
I would have thought that a knight anointed before the 7 would be more welcoming of family.
He's welcoming of you. He is more worried about protecting the rest of the family. The knights he does not trust.
They are friends of mine.
There is, well, you only know. There's only so much he knows, and well, his
She thinks so lowly of me that my friends cannot be trusted.
No, That is certainly not the case. I imagine it's more his distrust of the older peak.
He is not here.
No, but to his mind, these are, in effect, under him, the knights.
They are not.
With a curious look.
They are the followers of the young peak, not the older.
He is still held to his lord's orders, are they not? Is he not?
And yet, they are not here. If forced to choose, it is clear what commander they would follow. Not only does the younger pay them, and feed them, clothe them, but he is also their friend. The man who spends time with the soldiers, who walks with them, whom they can relate to, is the one they will follow if it comes to it. And he's the only one who truly has a command, is he not?
And if he is given orders from his grandfather?
Then he would do as he pleases. He sort of smiles slightly. He can be as stubborn as his grandfather, though he has none of the wrath. He's a good man. And what we are here to do would not please his grandfather at all. He's, in a way, taking risks to do this. If everything goes according to plan, at the end of this, in his grandfather's eyes, he will seem rather inept. But it cannot be helped.
Nods slowly, considering himself.
What do you think of our plan to approach the keep? I think the people will be glad to see us, no?
To see us? He gestures a hand between us. Most certainly they will.
And the Knights of the Rose?
The Knights of the Rose I am unsure about. Many of them remember fighting the Peak forces, and many of them would not know of...
Frown slightly. These are not Peak forces.
Even if they follow the younger Peak, they are still Peak forces in their eyes. They do not know better.
Yes, every man is here because he wishes to be. They could leave with no repercussions.
Then smile slightly.
Gorman is an inspiring man. Looks over at him. Kind, strong, respectable, honorable.
He certainly also holds quite the way with words, in a good way.
Yes. He has some gifts that I do not possess. He's charismatic. He does not listen to the gods as I do, but he still does what is right, as often as he can. We're all... So looks at him from a distance here. No longer looking at Lanus, but looking over at Gorman. We're all sinners in our own way.
None of us are perfect, but we can try our best.
Nonsense. As long as we're willing to, as long as we do our best, the Seven will see that we are good-hearted. Looks at Lanus. Or do you disagree?
No, I agree.
Johnson gives you a smile. I could not have hoped for you turning out in a better way, brother. You seem to We will make a good pair, you and I.
Nods, looking out over the other side of the room. I am just trying to consider the best situation I can approach here. I do not want the distrust to cause any issues.
He nods.
After all, it'd be against everything we're trying if
I
people
think
believed you were
Gorman,
marching.
I think Gorman fears for my safety.
I think that is understandable.
He nods.
Not
He
needed.
does not trust the forces of Caladan, as some of the Caladans do not trust him and his. He's afraid that I will see as a... Well, the tales of our uncle are rather widespread within the household of the Peaks. Perhaps over-exaggerated, but as you told me when we last spoke, not entirely so.
Equally, the stories we know of your house. Well, let's just. But we won't rewind.
Damn!
Rewind. No, that was me as a player screwing up.
Damn, but it would be so great though.
Holy fuck! Just bam.
Yeah, just put fucking I'll pull this sword out of me that you stabbed me with, man.
As your brother's lifeblood spills upon the ground.
Latest
That'd be a
hisses
great-
at him.
That'd be a great turn, but that was me screwing up the player, not.
Oh my.
Now I kind of wish I wanted to say that. But
That was
True colours, man.
amazing though.
True colours.
Oh crap.
We see your true color shine.
Equally
Oh
though,
god damn it.
the stories we know of House Peak are not entirely untrue either.
Well, that's a question then, if I may, brother. I know that these knights will listen to Gorman, a good man, before anyone else. And they're here to, well, presumably protect me and him in this endeavor. When we come home, or simply now, he looks over to Alaric. Who will our cousin listen to? Who is his commander? And who is the commander of our troops, our forces? Is it you?
He pauses for a moment. Though I must say, warfare was not something I have put a lot of personal stake into, for the most part. Our troops, I would imagine, most likely would follow. Well, would most likely follow Sir Alaric. For his loyalty. After that's what's transitioned here, I would like to believe he will follow our words.
What? Men follow the man who pays them, or the man who has spent most time with them, he who respects them as one of their own. Many lords, the older Peak included, lord over their subjects in a way that is unnecessary, that creates a barrier. They send the stewardship to others so that others may handle the books and the payments. But when the night is dark, and when the soldiers choose the man who keeps their families safe and fed, or the man who has always simply ordered them around and never done anything for them, the choice would rarely be surprising.
Perhaps. The people certainly know of my presence with the work. How it would go? Well, assuming he is on our side, I don't think it makes a difference.
It's good.
So,
I would wish for you to perhaps encourage him to ease off He was bringing up things that are perhaps better forgotten in the past. Let us look into the future, brother.
Give it
Not
some
on
time.
old slights, but on new future possibilities.
Hopefully these will fade in time. Once some trust can be established between, well, they seem to be getting along for now at least. Looks over to the two of them.
Gorm's probably asking Alaric about some story that he's heard about Alaric being involved in.
Alaric, of course, will assure him that it's all completely true. So long as it's good. If it's bad, then it's
Sort
not
of
true at all.
Listeners gathered around.
Alaric's used to telling stories, so...
Oh, and I lose my drinking buddies. Well, if that's how it is.
Alright,
I'm still following
you'll
you.
bail. Well,
I mean, they were right there.
I've heard those stories so many times. I don't want to listen to them.
Halen will get interrupted as he looks over at Nima, who pryingly walks close, disrupting their privacy.
You can see him, though. You can
He
see
looks
him.
over to Lanus and says, I suppose that makes an end to our conversation.
Perhaps yes, then. Though, I must say, the circumstance, I believe we can ensure that no more conflict will occur.
You can tell by Nima's eyes she's kind of annoyed.
He walks towards Nima and says, I'm not sure I have your name.
Nima could. Now about the Nima Ryan.
And you serve our house?
I am sworn to your house, yes.
Well, says, then it is good to have you at my side. I shall wish for you to ride at the back of our trail. Keep an eye out. There are no reports of people on the road, but the river pirates have been elusive, and perhaps some would have escaped onto land.
As you wish, my lord.
Gives her a slight smile. She then walks.
We shouldn't leave them waiting for too long. Gestures to Nima to follow.
Parts the sea.
Uh,
She walks in, puts a hand on Gorman's, who's probably nodding enthusiastically to something, grinning widely at some joke.
Moon singers.
I imagine Alaric, when he gets started, probably sort of just has them on repeat almost.
He's got like a list basically of how he says them, how he says his stories. He's said it so many times. Like he's just used to what order he tells his stories in.
Breaks for laughs and dramatic effect. And
Yeah, basically. He's so used to it. He's basically got a screenplay. If he could
he's
write,
posting
at least.
stories and wide gestures that meant for dogs, sort of dodges.
Yeah, he's so used to it. He's just like, yep, that one. Oh wait, the backhand, yeah.
It was so long, and smacks Manfred on the side of the head. who dodges out of the way at this point.
Poor Manfred. It's like, oh no.
He's used to being beaten on by a giant sword, so
Alaric finds the young Peak to probably be a very good listener in that way. He sort of laughs at the appropriate moments, and he seems invested in the story, and he asks questions that suggest that he's actually listening and interested.
Well, that's new.
It is. Most knights are more interested in telling their own stories.
yeah.
Bit of humble pie.
So, I'm sorry to interrupt the tale. I'm sure it is riveting, but perhaps the conversation could continue on horseback. The horses will also need to be inspected. Perhaps they would have been the ones that were yours, and shall be again.
Alaric nods and says, looks to Linus and says, I've got a few stories you haven't heard. You should probably ride with me and Gorman at the front.
I believe my brother and I will ride in the center. of our formation. We have much to talk about.
Alaric just looks at Lanus to see what he says. With
Yeah.
a very serious look.
You
Lanus,
just passing. I have to be right in the back. Shut up.
Lanus nods with a polite smile. I think this will work quite well. Anyway, so Alaric, if we're going to set out, we better finish preparing ourselves.
Alaric nods and says, you should probably tell the our honoured guest that he should make sure he's fully prepared as we leave soon.
Yes.
Well, bottoms up. Let's get back on the beasts.
We'll be joining you shortly.
Begin to file out.
As I'll gesture for Sir Alaric to go back to the room. I'll speak to you in a second. First, I'm going to go ahead and find the silent. And tell him we're getting ready to leave.
Yeah, pack your shit, man.
Sure, he has done that because he was told to before Redesm, but...
Yep. Yeah, just making sure, like, you know, be ready to leave. We'll be leaving, you know, within the hour.
He'll just write in the back, because, you know,
Yep.
that's what you do.
Before heading up to their room and, you know, to grab his things and also speak with the others.
So, you still want me to ride in the back, little lord?
We'll see how the formation looks. I might move you a bit closer.
Nuts.
So, Sir Alaric, how do you feel about Gormund the Young?
Alaric looks at Lanus in thought and says, a lot easier to get along with than his grandfather. I could put up with him for longer periods of time, but I do not trust him. And the moment he starts looking at his men funny, I'll kill him right there.
Please try not to. Well,
Scouts.
I mean, it's a situation arises when danger is on the horizon, then you know your duty.
Alaric nods and says, but hopefully we
at least
don't
at
have to do that.
At least at my current time, and while I might not be able to not be able to get a lie past anyone, you know, getting it past me is slightly harder. He seems to be honest about what he's saying, at least for now.
Alaric nods. Says, we're likely to find out his true nature once we reach respite.
Likely so. But for now, I'm inclined to believe he might genuinely be at somewhat odds with the grandfather, which is very good for us.
Very. Especially soon as the old peak is getting too old for his position. If we can sway young peak to be good allies, perhaps we can even control him a little.
Not for nothing, my lords, but I really want to go home, and I'm getting rather tired of hearing about whose castle is mostly the most pretty and whatever.
I understand that.
And I'm getting tired of this lice treatment.
Yes, as said, we'll be leaving very, very soon. We just need to make sure that we have everything in order. If you wish, you could head outside and check the horses in advance.
My horse is still there. What else do you want me to check?
Is it still there?
Yes, Nima's horse is still there because Nima had to use her horse the day your horses got stolen.
In which case, would you then possibly care to? Well, if you would like, you could go prepare yourself early.
My lord, I've been ready for a long time.
That's fair enough. Gives a smile. It's actually a rather convenience. I feel that our castle is full right now. With all the extra troops there, we can easily use that to ensure that they do not remain inside.
Even if they could garrison in our keep, I would probably make it uncomfortable enough they would want to have their tents outside.
The point stands is this is the best outcome for both sides, I feel.
If you want. I know I'm not a lord and noble and all that, but that would seem like a very... not a very good idea.
Alaric nods. Either way,
It stands.
that's it.
Our garrison is full of not just our own troops, but
People from Dawn.
of which I only fear what she and Bree has got up to.
I just still hope the garrison are still there. She drives them a bit crazy. I'm worried they might leave.
Surely they wouldn't. We still pay them.
As that is said, I think we sort of see a fade out. And the music changes as we see instead Decim. From Decim's point of view, what does he look like when the day he sort of arrives at Respite?
He looks very tired. He looks quite dusty and grimy from riding on the road. When he gets off his horse, it is with a visible pain, probably from his old wound, as it will hurt quite a bit after riding so fast for so long. Yeah. And obviously he is somewhat distressed.
Well, you ride up, and I suppose what you see is basically the gate and the gate closed and barred with the portcullis down. You see banners, almost two in every tower, where there is a Caladan banner waving, and then there's also a Ironwood banner waving next to them, it's on a slightly short pole. It's in there. On the wall, there are both. They disappeared before I put them down, but they're most certainly both the Dornish guards and standard respite people in mass. The castle looks pretty siege ready, everything considered.
All right.
You just sort of stand here, being fancy, as Decim rides up to the gate, and probably see. What do I have him? Here we have him. See, Sir Ryman being the one looking down at him.
Yeah, Decim looks back up at Sir Ryman.
Mm-hmm. He'll give the command for the gate to be opened, which it will be.
Yep.
And, fetch food, drink.
Yep. Definitely.
He'll go down to meet with Decim. Courtyard.
Yeah, Decim will ride in.
Is locked, closed. Portcullis goes down behind him.
Yep. Decim slides off the horse with some effort.
My lord, it's been quite a while since you've gone. We had a distressing message. Are you all right? Are you wounded?
Decim grimaces and says, "I am unhurt, Sir Ryman." He looks around. Yes, good. He looks around the walls and sees all the soldiers. He nods to himself. Yes, good. Everything is ready. Good work, Sir Ryman. He looks around. Yes, we have potentially a bit of trouble heading our way, to say the least. I believe that we will have a contingent of peak knights riding up to our castle in a few days, most likely. He coughs. With them is Gorman Peak the Younger. And there might indeed be trouble.
And unless they brought a lot of ladders, they will not scale these walls.
He nods. I will have to talk more with. Well, he looks around. We'll see. Good. Keep watch for now. Have scouts out into our lands and keep an eye out for when they approach. They should be easy enough to spot, I believe. As soon as we have them in our lands, inform me immediately. We can take the necessary precautions.
That's the. Yes, I shall do so, my lord.
That's good. He sort of sighs heavily and makes his way very stiffly into the keep.
Meets Lucas, who's coming out with like a little water.
Yeah. He'll nod at Lucas, take the water, swipe it down as he moves, and give Lucas back the cup, basically.
Anything you need, my lord?
A bath and clean clothes and such.
Yes.
Also, tell Bree that I wish to speak with her.
At once. So, run up, and start by filling a bath, as presumably that's what Desmond would like to do first. And afterwards, he will indeed come knocking on Bree's little door. To summon her to speak to him afterwards, I imagine.
Yeah.
Which I think you guys have already done. So.
Yes.
Yes.
There was a.
Didn't quite have it painted in Desmond's bath, but
No, Desmond will just take the bath, and then he will meet
afterwards.
in the.
maybe it's for
council
the
chamber.
best that you lay in the bath with him, and then like have Agatha fuss over you first.
Yeah. I imagine that, dear Agatha.
You will hear a lot about the baby
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
I've been thinking, and he seems healthy and fresh and oh so cute.
No, that's adorable.
Remember when we had?
Oh, Desmond will, gently, pat her hand,
He's very excited.
Yeah.
He will also mention that he's probably talked to Bree about her behavior while gone, but other than that, there's the baby.
He hasn't really heard about Bree's behavior, but maybe Agatha could inform him.
Inviting peasantry into the keep and had them eat from stores, and she's been sending gold around everywhere, and there have been ladies beating one another with sticks and hands and fists in the courtyard, and some terrible affairs with fighting out at night with almost no protection and no guard. Horribly wounded. Terrible affair.
Desmond looked positively scandalized.
I almost pity her, Jonas.
This poor woman, she has been tried so much.
But she is very excited about the baby.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's really her thing right now.
I spent a destiny point to make the baby happen.
Destiny baby.
You did?
Destiny, baby.
That would have been sick if you did that, but kind of cool.
Can you spend a destiny point to get a baby from Rosetta?
Twins, hey!
Can you do that? That would have been pretty cool.
No, I just made that was my environmental quality. The baby was born so that I could be distracted.
That would have been understandable.
Well, now the house has the baby cries very loud, so
Hard.
environmental quality.
None of these labels need changing.
But your conversation will be had as
Yep.
it was, and
It was a quite long conversation. There will be a video about it, I think.
Panikai has already seen the thing. It's an
I know
unpleasant
what
thing.
happened. Yeah.
Yep. The rest of the people watching can go to this link to see the video. It's down below. Halldamir will put it in.
Unless you're watching live.
Not now.
God damn it, more stuff.
Not now though. You should keep watching the stream.
It'll be annotated. Maybe.
Yes.
If I get round to it.
Hey, buddy.
Click here, or here.
Yeah. Who knows where?
But yeah, the basic plan is to let the entourage into the castle, but basically be surrounded on all sides by guards and archers, and just everything just pointing down at them. At that point, we will separate, if we can, Halen from the rest of them, so we can actually talk to him. And if that is impossible, or if young Peak is being all preposterous and stuff, he can maybe come along too. But I mean, this is a situation where we certainly has the like martial superiority. Like they're inside our castle, completely surrounded by all of our troops. If there's a fight, they won't survive. And yeah, hopefully we can get them separated so we can actually talk to them, and hopefully we won't be having to suffer peak nights inside of the fucking castle. And hopefully, just hopefully, we will survive this.
Rosette will, after your meeting at some point, ask if you would send some letters to Ironwood and Will for her.
Okay, Desmond will certainly ask that's possible. What's in the letters, if he might be so bold?
Warnings that there might soon be trouble brewing, and that they should ready themselves to ride to respite in case they're told that it's now and things are happening.
I see. Well, let's.
You got no line.
Not a terrible idea.
Would Desmond think that is indeed what's in these letters? With an empathy check?
That seems, he doesn't seem to be lying about that. There might be more in there, but that's what she tells you.
That seems fair enough.
She's not that good of a liar.
No, that seems fair enough. Desmond will send the letters.
I can teach her.
What?
That costs 30 experience points each.
To
We don't have
lie.
experience for that.
I can teach her to lie if you need.
I can too. Yeah, Desmond is actually quite good at it.
We know Desmond's good at that. That's one of the problems.
No, you don't know. He's so good at it that you don't know that it's even lying.
I mean, I have empathy dice, so.
Watch out over the land, waiting her husband's coming home.
It's gonna be fucking rude. It's gonna be a rude awakening. So yes, all of these women are out of the castle, which is good. All of the troops are back into the castle, which is also good. Yeah, that's the basic plan. Have scouts out, warn us, and when they see it coming, basically just line up everything in the castle to make a show of force. And maybe, just maybe, we can get out of this without everyone dying.
But where's the fun in that, Jonas? Where?
I mean, someone will die sooner or later, but
It's true.
And
I'm hoping Gorman to the order.
Yeah.
that would be wrong. Yeah, I would agree to that.
I feel like Manakai was going to say something.
we have the people riding, trying to get home.
Some people are getting home. Some people are invading.
Well, Anakai, a question that I have is when we go out and examine said horses,
Yes, it's them. And some other ones that you don't know.
so we've got
The
Hugo.
horse trader had more than just those horses.
We have
Hugo.
Hugo, we have a very. Do we have Desmond's horse?
Yes,
I'll have Desmond's horse follow mine then.
sure. I mean, they have the extra horses here anyway, because
Yeah,
what are
the
they going
point.
to do with them
So yeah, the
otherwise?
point is,
Isn't that convenient? Like it was orchestrated by Halen Caladan as he suggested the horses would be delayed for some time.
I was totally in all the time. I was like, yeah, that was Zoom first before he said the Iron Bank symbol. I was like, oh, Halen did this.
Yeah.
You know this. You know the stable boy will be paid to say anything about the Iron. Oh yeah, fucking.
It did scare him a lot, though. I don't know if he would.
Oh yeah, we scared the shit out of that kid.
Oh no, like you just would mean like he could have been lied to.
Yeah.
He could have been lied to. It's totally possible.
He can only tell his truth.
But that means that Halen is so deliciously duplicious beneath all of that pious crap.
Yeah.
It's a win-win.
He's so.
Or maybe he suggested a desire, and the Lady Nualia took care of the matter the way that she thought was best.
He's such a manipulative little bastard, that dude.
Oh,
There's
my
nothing
gosh.
little about that.
You're all
Caladan.
just spinning a story in your head right now.
You know, we're trying to immerse ourselves in the roleplay, Tina.
Mm-hmm.
So Rivest will actually speak to Nima during the
Sure.
travels.
Let's speak.
If she speaks Bravosi.
Oh, sweet.
Speaks some. Not fluent, but workable.
Okay, that's workable.
And he will speak to her about how in Bravosi, perhaps so the others don't hear, about how her experience in being on this side of the Narrow Sea has been, and ask her about, the silly food and silly clothes and silly rules.
Oh my god, finally someone to talk to.
And complain about how silly and weird everything is.
Yeah, definitely. Nima will complain and say this is ridiculous.
Yeah, a bond over.
Yeah, let's bond.
Yeah, he seems to know a whole lot of things about stuff that Nima probably doesn't know anything about. He's very knowledgeable about a lot of topics.
Oh. Well, Nima will share the annoyance of you can't sit on a freaking chair without some noble looking weird at you. Or you can't accidentally call someone by name without a noble whipping you.
Well, he will say that if anyone tried to whip him, he would burn them alive. So he's having none of that.
Oh my god, I would have done the same if I could, but it just happened.
Perhaps, since we're going the same place and have similar interests.
Yes.
Favor
Yes.
for favor.
Go on.
There are things that can burn, even without flames. Substances you can pour upon flesh to make it burn away, without visible fire or heat. Just a slight wisp of smoke until the bone is exposed.
Well, he can't see Nima, but Nima is smiling, thinking of putting this substance into the dear Tali's bath.
It should be quite visible. It generally has a sickly, sort of yellowish color, and smells highly toxic and terrible. But it will melt things as it touches them. It will turn skin into bubbling, sizzling mess.
Fascinating.
He always carries it with him.
Oh.
Same with fire, liquid fire.
I know the whole...
He does has quite a lot of like saddle wax and stuff on his horse as well. Tons of.
Well, Nima gets this guy. She has deadly nightshade with her, so I totally get it.
Hears that the people from Bravos may not like some of the traditions of the southern free cities, but certainly, surely the traditions of Westeros are more strange than any found in Essos.
Nima will brush it off. She does not want to discuss the fact that slaves and...
I mean, he doesn't have any slaves with him.
No. But Nima will brush that off and...
Yeah, sure. Barosi are known to be open-minded.
Hilarious.
Helen will discuss Linus's relationship, or if Linus is willing to, with people at home. Ask for stories of how things are at home. He has not been there for quite a while, and he will tell what he remembers of being home. Castle looked different back then, after all, since it wasn't really It wasn't destroyed and it wasn't repaired again.
Yeah, he'll kind of describe the renovations that occurred and the process of doing so.
I'm very interested in Bree. She was very young. And sounds like terrible things have happened.
Terrible things have indeed happened to her. But we all take our experiences and learn to grow from them.
Yes,
Bring strength from what happens.
we learn that the Seven's plan will be done, whether we try to resist it or not. What we can do is simply to embrace it or deny it. Something is. Does she know the gods?
I am unsure how she stands with the gods. She is not actively against them, though I wouldn't say she is a faithful worshipper all the time.
Gods. Perhaps we can aid her in finding them. It should be a great gift. Though I imagine it is difficult for someone who has suffered such, and who has not come to them by herself.
Perhaps so,
Maybe
but
anger, frustration,
even if
feeling
we
of being abandoned. It says, putting a little emphasis on it. She looks to. Yes, it is handled in different ways. I think I should like to speak to her. We might have some things in common.
perhaps, yes. Though, as I have said, she has developed strengths from what's happened to her. She decided not to go for faith, but ensuring that she would be able to defend herself.
So we all sinners in our own ways.
God damn, he's so pious. I hate him.
Remember that he orchestrated stealing your horse.
You don't know that for sure.
I suspect it, so I don't care. All right.
He's a duplicitous little bastard.
He took Hugo from me.
You're
There
riding
can
Hugo.
be no forgivens.
And then he brought
you're
give him
talking
back.
about Bree.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll speak to Elric of knightly pursuits and of fighting techniques. He's not really fought with a greatsword before. He's generally using his longsword, though.
Well, Alaric can talk to him about it, and it's basically the same as fighting with a long sword, but Alaric can hold a bigger sword, so he holds a greatsword, so it's basically the same like sword and board, but he uses more arcing blows than like he very rarely lunges with
Wider swings.
Yeah, he uses wider sweeping swings and tends to flow with them instead of lunging forward with the tip of the blade.
And for is really taking a liking to the young woman.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So I'm now just imagining him looking over his shoulder. Bad.
Manford's under my charge, so I can sway him back, it's fine.
He'll listen to you. He is your cohort.
He is.
He smiles and nods. He's pretty friendly with him.
And one day he'll be a great warrior.
He's empowered by destiny.
Yeah, empowered.
As the days go by, Spiders is fortified more and more. It's the little night train.
Oh god. Thank you, roommates.
I know! Fucking fortified, how are we gonna
fuck?
solve that?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch!
The peanut gallery is getting up in arms.
I thought the tournament was still going on.
On the way, every knight purchases a few roses that they as they reach into Caladan lands, begin to give to the populace, giving them the blessing of the seven, and reporting that the prodigal son has returned home. next to Lanus will be seen. So smile to them.
Of course, some of them should definitely know Lanus after his charity work he does.
Yeah, they like Lanus, and they seem to like the sight of the two of you riding side by side. It's empowering to them. In addition to pious knights giving people roses. It's very nice.
You know, Nima knows the story about knights. She'll just roll her eyes at it. She's heard the girls talk about it.
Of course,